Hi friends, how are you doing? Today I'm going to talk about family estrangement. I am estranged from my entire family. So let's talk. My name is Jana. I'm 67 years old. And I'm going to talk about a difficult subject today, and please bear with me. I'm very new to doing YouTube videos, and it's way out of my comfort zone. And the subject of family estrangement is a sensitive topic, and it's a hard one to talk about. And I have a hard time talking in general, like things. I run these conversations through my head all the time, and they're like really great. But when it comes down to sitting down and talking out loud, it's very, very hard for me. I think I grew up in a family where my voice wasn't heard, and I quickly learned not to speak, especially about anything, let me say, negative, like, I don't know, just talking in general about feelings just was not done in my family. And even as I grew into a teenager, if I did try to speak about my feelings, I would get slapped in the face. And I just quickly learned to be quiet about it. And I married pretty young at age 18. And again, I couldn't really talk about my feelings. In my first marriage, my feelings were just basically ignored. My husband would just sit there and look at me. It was very frustrating. I really didn't have anybody to speak to. And ever since then, going through my entire life, like I just have not been able to express my feelings. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's really hard for me. I've either been met with silence or told in not so many words that my feelings are wrong, I shouldn't feel that way. I never really have had any support for my feelings. I mean, nobody's ever been there just to say, it's okay, I understand. Like, I never had that. And I'm not looking for that now. The reason I'm talking about this subject is because it's a taboo subject, yet it's a very important subject. And yes, I've written down some notes because, like I said, it's difficult for me to talk, and I don't want to forget anything. Okay, so the subject of family estrangement is a pretty taboo subject, although I have come across recently some TikToks and a couple YouTube channels and a few Facebook groups of people talking about the subject, and for the most part those have been pretty supportive. When I talk about family estrangement, when it comes to me, I'm referring to absolutely no communication between myself and my family, whether that be through issues that we've had or just because communication has never been a thing in my family and we've just never spoken. Why I want to talk about this now and here on my channel is mainly just to help me process my feelings about the subject, and I do have a lot of feelings, and also because I found through a few Facebook groups just knowing that I'm not alone has been really helpful. And so maybe if you're in a similar situation, talking about it through a platform like mine might help you not feel as alone. I'd like to add that I'm talking about family estrangement as it comes to my family. And I do consider my wife's family my family as well. And although I am estranged with one person and her family, for the most part, I'm only referring to my own family. So I wanted to make that clear up front. A lot of people say that they don't care what people think, but I will be honest and say that I do care what people think, because there's an element of shame with this subject when you're estranged from your family, especially your own adult children. And there's this feeling like if you're estranged, that you must be bad or that you've done something wrong. And realistically, in my case, it's not true, but still hearing those things makes me second guess myself. I first and foremost value respect. That's one of the biggest things in my life, is I really value respect. And disagreements are fine, and constructive criticism is fine, but there's a way you can disagree and give somebody constructive criticism without putting them down and without being disrespectful. And I have found that is very uncommon for people to be able to do that. And so I'm all about that, and I'm the first one to own my mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes. Plenty of my mistakes as a parent, as a partner, as a friend, and I'm willing to own those mistakes. But one thing you have to realize is you have to know what they are before you can own them, before you can try to change your ways. And in my case, there is a lot of things that I just don't know. I have so many feelings about this subject. First and foremost, I have to say that I've had a ton of confusion, just so much confusion as to why, what I did wrong. In almost all the cases in the estrangements between me and my family, it's come totally out of the blue, with no explanations given, no questions answered, and it's almost like they wanted to be estranged from me. And it's left me with a lot of speculations. Is it because I'm gay and married to a woman? Is it because of how I voted? Is it how I looked? Is it because I didn't do this or I didn't do that, or I should have done this and I didn't? But my questions never get answered, and so just a lot of confusion. I also have anger. The anger has lessened over time, increased, lessened. I mean, it is there. I'll be honest. I'm angry because I feel like in my case, it hasn't been fair. There's also grieving. You know, it's one thing to grieve somebody you love through a loss of life. But when it is people that are still alive, you're grieving all the same, and it is really similar, and it's just a whole new level, and it's hard to explain. And you know, I could feel myself tearing up, but I'm not going to go there. So let me look at my notes. And I think there's been a lot of misunderstanding and definitely lack of communications. Big lack of communication in our family. I've wanted it. I've tried, probably not as hard as I could, but I've tried in response to disrespect. I've tried to communicate and to work things out, and each and every time have just been met with more disrespect. It hurts really bad. At this point, the hurt is there if I allow it to hurt me. So let me explain further. Your mindset is everything. You have to put it in your mind that you are okay as a person, you are a good person, that this is not your fault. You can't beat yourself up over it. It's an issue with them, and it's their choice. This is not my choice. This is not what I wanted at all. Do I wish it could be different and things could mend? Yes. The only problem with that is I can't do it myself. I'm just here. If anybody wants to talk to me and make things better and move forward, I'm here. So I've had to learn personal boundaries. I have been in counseling a couple times in my life, and the last time I was in counseling, I learned about personal boundaries, which is something I had never thought about before. I've always had some boundaries, but I never thought of putting personal boundaries on myself. Like, one of my big ones is respect. Like I said, a boundary that I have put on myself is I will not tolerate disrespect. I will either tell you about yourself or I'll walk away. And I don't know which is the right way to go. But I don't have any place in my life for disrespect. So another personal boundary that I've set for myself is just a couple months ago, I made the very hard decision to block my entire family on social media. That was probably one of the hardest personal boundary steps that I've had to make. And the reason I did that is because although I was still friends with some of my estranged family members and not friends on social media with other family members, their posts would still come across my feed. And it was really painful to see almost my entire family sitting around a table on Christmas Eve enjoying a dinner, and everybody's there but me, and I live less than an hour away. And just seeing their lives, and then a couple comments made here or there that obviously were meant for me. I can't prove it, but I'm not dumb either. That would just trigger me and bring the tears and bring the pain. So I blocked everybody. And the day I did it, I think I cried straight for 2 days. And then I felt a sense of relief. The relief is not ever going to be total. There's always going to be pain and regrets and all the feelings that I mentioned, the confusion, the why. But support really helps. Support from people who are in the same shoes that I am, people who understand, people who don't judge. That's a big one. I have judged myself. I'll be honest. I should not judge people, and I think I've gotten a little better over the past few weeks, and I try not to judge, and I try to look for the positive, but I still do judge. I think that's a human thing, and I don't like it when people judge me, just especially based upon things they hear. Like, they don't even directly come to you, they just hear something and they automatically judge you. But support really helps a lot. Having the support from my wife. She has also blocked my family, because I'll tell you that it is really painful, and I feel it would be really painful to hear from anybody, doesn't matter who it was, your spouse, a friend, another family member, talking about the family members you're estranged with. I don't want to hear that. They've made it clear that I'm out of their life, and I really don't want to hear much about them. I love every one of them, and I wish them well. I wish them health. I wish them happiness, and that's the end of it. So I am going to share my story in a future video soon, and it's a long story, and it actually begins like 40 years ago, and it has evolved to the latest estrangement being just a few months ago. And there's a lot of different layers to it and a lot of different reasons, and even more reasons that I'm still not even aware of. I'm not going to give any names, and my intent is not to criticize or blame. It's just, like I said, to process this for myself, and just, I think that helps to talk about it and try to eliminate some of the shame and stigma that surrounds this. And if you guys have interest in this, I have a lot of topics on the subject. Like, what about the grandchildren? I have 4 grandchildren I'm estranged from due to their, what do you call it? I have 4 grandchildren I'm estranged from because I'm estranged from their parents. And so I can talk about that. Family gossip is big in my case. That's been very annoying to me. The subject of moving on. I have a lot of things. So if this is a subject you're interested in, I would love for you to comment on this video and share, and I would really love it if you could subscribe to my channel. It's a brand new channel. I think I only have 49 subscribers as of this video, and I'm not looking to go huge, but I do have a goal of reaching 100, because I believe it's 100 I can post community posts, and that's another way I can communicate with you guys. But please, again, forgive me for my slow talking, my unease at speaking to a camera. I'm trying, they say practice, practice, practice to feel more comfortable. So yeah, I hope you're all having a great day. I appreciate you watching and listening, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.